the aircraft information of 737 MAX, the 737-8 MAX is a single-aisle, low-wing, narrow-body jet transport with a traditional tail unit arrangement powered by two high-bypass turbofan CFM LEAP 1B engine installed on islands beneath the wings. Boeing Commercial Aircraft manufactured the aircraft, which is the fourth generation of the 737 series. The aircraft was planned on to transport 162 until 178 people depending on the seating layout. According to the Boeing's company website, the 737-8 MAX was introduced on August 2017 and received FAA type certification on March 8, 2017. ET was a Boeing 737-8 MAX single-aisle transport aircraft outlet fitted in a 160-passenger multi-class configuration that was delivered to Ethiopia Airlines on November 15, 2018. The aircraft was powered by two CFM International LEAP 1B turbofan engines. At the time of the accident, the aircraft had 1,330.3 hours and 382 cycles. The max TO weight for this is 737-8 MAX is around 82,190 kg. To carry the maximum number of passengers for this category of the aircraft is the transport type because if it carries the passengers. Addis Ababa to Nairobi passenger flight VO2 carry international passengers. 2 minutes into the flight, the plane MCAS system came in, sending it plummeting to the ground. Although the pilots tried, they were unsuccessful in the attempts to manually reposition the stabilizers. Other than turning the wheel by hand, there was nothing else that could be done. Before the plane went down, witnesses said they saw white smoke and heard strange noises. However, the captain and the first officer attempted to manually lift the aircraft nose by pushing their yokes, but it fell to the ground. The breeze was pushed up to 30 feet deep into the ground by the impact, which was 90 feet wide and 150 feet long. There were no survivors. Police had sealed off the area where they fell in the Ethiopian Red Cross of accident investigators. There were excavators and trucks dispatched to help clear away the wreckage. Packets of human remains were taken to Bole International Airport, where they were stored in the refrigerator units normally used to store roses before being transferred to St. Paul Hospital in Addis Ababa for identification. At 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. on March 11, Ethiopian Airlines received the two flight recorders that have been discovered, and both had been turned over to Ethiopian Airlines. According to the CNN News, the 149 people on board represented 35 different countries. The positive identification of crash victims was announced on September 13, 2019. The passengers included 32 Kenyans, 18 Canadians, 9 Ethiopians, 8 Americans, 8 Italians, and 8 Chinese nationals. According to the spokesperson, there were also 7 French and 7 British individuals on board. According to a UN statement, 19 United Nations employees were among those killed in the crash. Almost 100 disaster victim identifications, especially from 14 countries, helped the Interpol Incident Response Team operation. Many of the travelers were on their way to Nairobi to attend the United Nations Environment Assembly for session. According to UN statement, 7 World Food Program employees as well as officials from the United Nations headquarters in Nairobi, the International Telecommunication Union, and the Office of the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees were also among those slain. The Deputy Director of Communications for UNESCO, two General Electric employees, a former Nigerian diplomat, and a senior UN official working on behalf of UNITAR, and a staff member of the International Organization for Migration Sudan office were killed in the crash. According to Wikipedia, an employee of Norwegian Red Cross, a British intern with the Norwegian Refugee Council, and environmental agent for the Association of Arctic Expedition Cruise Operators, 4 Catholic Relief Service employees, and a senior Ugandan police official on assignment with the African Union Peacekeeping Force in Somalia were also killed. Causes by human factor. Problems with takeoff. The problems began just 12 seconds after takeoff, according to sources familiar with the crash data. A sudden spike in black box data, according to 4 experts and 2 U.S. officials, were consistent with a bird or other debris hitting the plane as they took off, shining away a critical airflow sensor. On Sunday, Ethiopian Airlines described the scenario as completely speculative. According to Ethiopian investigator Mday Ayalufenta, a preliminary report released by Ethiopian investigators contained no indication of this. Boeing did not respond to questions about the ongoing investigation. According to aviation expert, a critical sensor was damaged, possibly as a result of collision with a foreign object. As soon as the pilots restricted their flaps and slats, the sensor began feeding faulty data into the monitoring characteristic of the system, MCAS, which is designed to prevent stalls. Other than that, causes of a mechanical problem, on March 13, 2019, the Federal Aviation Administration (FAA) announced that additional evidence discovered at the crash site and the satellite data on Flight 302 revealed that the aircraft may have suffered from the same issue as the aircraft flying on Lion Air Flight 610. The investigators discovered that the jack screw that controlled the pitch angle of Flight 300 horizontal stabilizer was in the nose-down position at its most extreme setting. According to Discovery, Flight 302 configuration was set to dive at the time of the accident, just as this was for Lion Flight 610. As a result of this discovery, a number of Indonesian experts have proposed that the Indonesian National Transportation Safety Authority (NTSC) collaborate with the Flight 302 investigation team. Later that evening, the NTSC offered assistance to the Flight 302 investigation team. The committee stated that it, along with the Indonesian Transportation Ministry, would send investigators and government representatives to assist with the crash investigation. The ECAA released a preliminary report on the crash that they had been investigating on April 4, 2019. The preliminary report makes no mention of MCAS, instead that approximately 5 seconds after the end of ANU, stabilizer motion, a third instance, and automatic trim command occurred without any corresponding stabilizer motion, which is consistent with the stabilizer trim cutout switches being in the cutout position. After nearly a minute of flight, the pilot decided to set the airspeed to 238 knots, which is 441 kilometers per hour or 274 miles per hour. The autopilot was turned off about a minute and a half. According to the preliminary report, the thrust was maintained at the takeoff setting 90% and one through the flight, and the throats were not adjusted at any point. During the next 30 seconds, the stabilizer nose down trim slid 4.2 degrees from 4.6 to 4.4 units. As a result of pilot input, the trim returned 2.3 units within 10 seconds, and the pilots agreed on and carried out this stabilizer trim cutout operation, which included cutting power to the trim motor that was being driven by MCAS. Recommendation: the safety that we should have in order to avoid accidents to happen again. Since repetitive uncommanded aircraft nose-down conditions are noted in this preliminary investigation, it is recommended that the aircraft flight control system related to flight controllability shall be reviewed by the manufacturer. Other than that, aviation authorities shall verify that the review of the aircraft flight control system related to flight controllability has been adequately addressed by the manufacturer before the release of the aircraft operations.